All right, Stuart, thanks, man, for joining us today and doing this with us and talking about your experience inside of Legacy Farmer. So for whoever's watching this video, just kind of quickly and briefly give your name, where you live at, and kind of what your farm operation looks like.
All right, my name is Stuart. I'm 33 years old from Southwest Missouri. I've been farming full-time 4 years now. We run a cow-calf operation along with chickens, and we sell specialty eggs to Vital Farms.
Okay, perfect. How old are you?
33.
33 and married, right?
Yes, sir. No kids.
No kids yet, and that's when the challenge will start. Okay,
Yeah.
so how long, let's see, you've been in Legacy Farmer, what, about 2-3 months now?
We're somewhere around the 60, 75 day mark.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So first question I have for you then is inside of your life, personal and business, okay? Because you and I both know they're not separate. So personally and business-wise, what was not working in life prior to joining Legacy Farmer? Like, what were the things that were happening that you said, hey, I need to commit to this, I need to join this, I need to get rolling?
So July 2nd last year, my dad passed away. And I lost my dad and my granddad in 11 days. So I had a lot shouldered on me. And before coming to Legacy Farmer, after they passed away and before I made it to Legacy Farmer, I was really on my own, and just had to sort through a mountain of stuff. When you talk about settling an estate, dying's not free and dying's not easy to those that are left behind. And so I just had so much I had to sort through, and just trying to keep your emotions on track when you're trying to do all that. It's tough. It's just a struggle trying to keep your emotions on track, and you just have to be so focused. And while I did a good job at that, there was just a lot of tools that I didn't have. All of a sudden I didn't have that support system anymore. I didn't have the backup. I didn't have people to run things by. All the decisions were mine and mine alone.
Yeah. So, we've talked about it with a few of the other guys on these calls, but a majority of farmers and ranchers, do you feel like, what percentage of farmers and ranchers do you think feel absolutely alone? Like, you not being able to have anybody to run things by, to have a support system. How many farmers and ranchers do you feel they're absolutely alone?
Well, it's a solitary industry. I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're working by yourself. When it comes harvest time or weaning time, you're working, 12, 18-hour days. And so, I mean, I would say 90% of the industry feels alone, because it's the nature of the beast. It's a solitary industry to begin with.
Yep. 100%. So when you, not only did you have to do everything with your dad and your grandpa and everything, but man, you also had to take on the entire operation as well. All right. So talk a little bit about the weight and the pressure and everything that you felt like it's in control. This thing either succeeds or it fails based on the decisions that Stuart makes.
Yeah. So let's back up. When my dad was around, I basically handled the day-to-day operations. Do we need to build this fence? Do we need to move the cows over here? That was my side of things. And my dad handled all the big picture stuff, the taxes, the relationship with the bank, how are we going to move, in the next 5 to 10 years, that was his area. And so all of a sudden, then I had to take that on. And it was just immediately, I knew that the decisions that I made today were going to affect this operation 5 and 10 years down the road. So not only do I have to be thinking about today, but I've got to be thinking about 10 years down the road. And when you try to do all that at the same time, it can be overwhelming in a hurry.
And the weight of the emotions that you felt, what was that like?
Oh, it was, I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, because there was loss and hopelessness, and there was heavy and burden. I mean, it was just all of them all the time.
Yeah. And the decisions that you're making on the operation, I mean, there's no small decision on an operation really. Like you're all of a sudden now responsible for multiple $100,000 decisions in a year.
Yeah. And if it goes down, it's all on me now.
Get it?
So it's, you just had to rise. I just had to rise to the occasion.
Yeah, 100%. So what was, more personal side here? Okay, so your dad passes away, your grandpa passes away. What happened between you and Kayla personally? Like, did you notice your emotions and the stress that you were feeling taking a toll on that relationship?
So if we'll rewind a year, my dad died in July. The first half of 2019, my marriage was on the rocks. Like, we were going to intense marriage counseling. We just did not get along at all. And I mean, just the littlest thing would start a fight.
Yep.
And, the day my dad died, I remember going home that night about 10:30, and Kayla was in bed, and I sat down on the side of the bed and I said, hey, we can either let this divide us or we can let this build us up. I know where I'm at. And I went to bed.
Yep.
And so through that, thankfully, we allowed that, and we made the decision for that to strengthen our marriage, not to just divide us.
Yeah.
So thankfully, we made the decisions then and there to grow us, because it could have very easily, I could be sitting here right now about to go to divorce court, but I'm not, because we made those decisions.
Yeah. Well, so before coming in then, what was the biggest thing missing from Stuart's life?
Before coming into Legacy Farmer?
Yep.
Oh, the true understanding of my emotions.
Okay. Yep. And a lot of people, they'll hear you say that, but it's your emotions that either equal success for the operation or equal destruction. And your ability to make decisions off of facts and not emotions, and having the tools, the systems, and the support system to do that. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the biggest things that you notice have changed for you personally and business wise since you joined the program and got involved with everything that we're doing here?
Well, the tools that are available within this program have given me the ability to break everything down. You take a decision or an emotion, no matter what it is, and there's 3 or 4 levels that are actually the root of that. And so you have the tools to be able to break them all down. And then when you get the full picture, then you can truly understand, what's going on, the decision that actually needs to be made. Because a lot of times your emotions will tell you we need to do one thing, but when you break it all down, the reality is you need to go over here. And so when you have those tools to break everything down on a really deep, raw level and understand the foundation and the basis behind it, then you can make a better decision.
Yeah. Kind of changes everything, right?
It does. Yeah.
Okay. What was the biggest thing you noticed change for you, finally having the support system beneath you and behind you?
Oh, it just gave me so much more confidence.
Okay.
My environment changed totally. We're all a sum total of the 5 people we spend our most time with. And for me, I understood that a long time ago. So my circle became extremely tight and was less than 5 people, really, because I wasn't going to allow any negative energy into my circle and world. And now that I have this, you've got like-minded individuals who are all willing to make a change. And so we're all just kind of feeding off of each other, and you bring this community into you that's with you, 24/7, because we have smartphones. And so that's what's changed the biggest for me. It's given me a confidence and a support system.
Yep. Okay. Good, man. So next question is what's your favorite thing about Legacy Farmer? Out of all the tools, the resources, the trainings, the community, the network, everything that we're doing here, what's the one thing that you would say is the biggest and most valuable piece for you?
Oh, the Empire coaching calls.
Okay.
Just being able to get that environment and be able to, you know, even though we're all in different states, you know, with technology, we can all jump on here and sit in our offices and talk to each other about the real stuff. You know, not surface level emotions, but like what's really going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you feel like that's needed inside of our industry today?
Oh yeah.
Because so many guys, again, we talk about them being on an island, being by themselves. They have nobody to actually, like, they have to be liars. They have to lie and put on a front and put on this mask and, you know, go home to their wife and say, yeah, everything's going fine. Or people in their community, hey, how are you doing? I'm doing good. Everything's going great. When the reality is, like, one, that doesn't get them what they want. But what we're doing different is there's no hiding inside of our group. People are open and honest and talk about the real shit, the real problems, and that's why they get results.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just.
Okay. All right. So last question. So as you and I both know, earning trust and earning somebody's just trust in the ag industry. Because the way I was raised, man, if there was somebody in a random truck driving down our road, my dad was always like, hey, where's the shotgun? Right? Like, who is this person? Okay. So trust is hard to build inside of our industry. So with somebody that's they're taking a look at Legacy Farmer, they listen to the podcast, they watch the videos and stuff like that. For somebody that's sitting on the fence and they're sitting there wondering, like, okay, is Jace for real? Is Legacy Farmer for real? Can I trust these people? Are they really going to help me? Is this network really going to help me? And this person's literally just sitting there, sitting on the fence. Like, what would you say to them? What's the one thing you would say to them?
If you look across any industry in the world, the top 20% of people have one thing in common. They all have coaches. They all have coaches. They all have mentors. They all have social groups that are on the same level. And that's never before seen in this industry. And so this is it. Like, if you want to get better, if you want to understand yourself on a deeper level, then follow what everybody else in all the other industries are doing, and come join this group and take yourself to a new level. Not just business. It's not dollars and numbers. It's on a real personal, deep level. Because like I said before, every emotion has 3 or 4 levels. And so we're going below the emotions, below the market ticker, and finding out what the real issues are so we can all level ourselves up.
Okay, because it's the decisions that you make, right, that ultimately determine the success or failure of the farm. And too many guys are just shooting from the hip because that's what dad did. That's what everybody in the industry does. And that's why we're seeing a lot of family farms, unfortunately, go bankrupt nowadays.